That's successful now, maybe 15 votes. Yeah. No, I'm just.
Do you have a tumor?
Yeah.
You need?
No.
You have a tumor? Things like that could prove properties. Take the pressure. Yes, thank you.
Right, at 6 o'clock, we're going to call the Board of Commissioners meetings to order, the committee meetings. We're going to start with the Ways and Means tonight because we do have one citizen wishing to address the board, so you can address first. What I'd like to do first is have a roll call.
You got it. Commissioner Baldwin?
Here.
Commissioner McConnell?
Here.
Commissioner Beeden?
Present.
Commissioner Dunn?
Here.
Commissioner Bone?
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Here.
Commissioner Rushing?
Here, if we could please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to 2A. We do have a resolution 22-20, which I'd like to have moved 7K, so if I could get a motion for that.
Motion. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda with the addition?
Motion. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. This time, citizens to be heard. We have Julie Aliff.
My name's Julie Aliff, and I've been an employee of St. Clair County since 1999. In 2011, there was a wage freeze. A wage freeze that lasted for 6 years. Since that time, at that negotiation afterwards, when the wages were unfrozen, we were told by council that we could not possibly make that up to you. And then on December 29th of 2017, there was an article in the Times Herald which laid out the massive raises that the heads of departments got. And I'm happy to submit that. Since then, raises have been approximately 2%. Employees are in the hole. We are not we have not kept pace with the cost of living at all. And now we find ourselves, last year, the cost of living increased 8%. This year, it's on target to be 8%. It is difficult, awkward, time-consuming, and expensive to recruit employees in this environment. I wholeheartedly recommend that you sharpen your pencils and get smart about investing where the rubber meets the road. And that is the employees that are eyeball to eyeball with your citizens everywhere. My husband is a Vietnam vet who was an infantryman. He came into the library and he was mortified to see what the people who stand on their feet all day had on their feet. He's like, how can they wear broken down shoes like that? Don't they know they're going to ruin their feet? And I said, when you make $200 a week, you can only buy $10 shoes. So I would encourage all of you to walk behind the desk and look and see what your people are wearing, what their lives are like. When you make $200 a week, what can you pay in rent?
You have a 3-minute time limit. If you got about,
I'm done.
okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other citizens wishing to be heard? I'm going to try. Faith Wormsbar?
Wormsbacher.
All right. Hey, you live on Masters Road.
I do, on
Right.
the other end, on the Berlin Township side. Like Julie, I'm a member and the president of ASME 1089 here. And her story here is absolutely true. We come back from that 6 years of no raises, and we have been led to believe by your representatives that the county would make it up to us. To be fair, the county did ask us, would you prefer layoffs or would you rather have your people work? We decided we'd take the freeze. Everybody would have a job. No one knew that it was going to last for 6 years. And when it came back, did we give them the article in the paper? No, but I have the huge raises people got. But we'll just take last year. Last year, we got a 2% raise. The year before, we got a 2% raise. We gave 2.5% to the health trust, the healthcare trust. Once again, wasn't our fault that the county didn't have that rate where it needed to go. And it's millions of dollars that just my local has donated to that. So there's healthcare money for the retirees. I lost another 2% because the retirement is not at the level it should be. The county did pay half, we paid half, but still, I only got a 1% raise, and I've been here over 20 years. When I started, we didn't pay for our health care. Now that's over $100 every check. When she says that we're going in the hole, we honestly are. I was talking to some of the employees here in this building, and I said, do you remember when you used to go to the store and buy an outfit? Do you remember that? You got the whole deal. You got shoes, you got an outfit, bought stockings to go with it, a couple accessories. like, seriously, your people are going to the resale stores to buy their clothes. You have employees who are getting state aid. And I know I've written to you about this, that you really seriously need to look at your employees' needs. And I know you don't see us all very often. I don't know, a couple of you I've seen in the library. Few of you have had your children at story time,
If you could finish up, please.
just about.
Okay.
Just that there's a lot of need out there. And as Julie said, really sharpen your pencils and take a look, because I'm raising chickens and I'm chopping wood and I'm growing a garden. There's not much more I can do to try to stretch things.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Do we have any other citizens wishing to be heard? All right, we'll move on to updates. Do you have any updates? Seeing none. Do we have any conceptual initiatives? We do not. We have no old business. We'll move on to 7A, early closure request for the downtown campus office, July 13th, 2022, and this is for final action.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Can you give a short?
Sure, that is the evening of the Rotary International Day Parade, and the city of Port Huron does start closing down the roads at 3 p.m. So if the county did not close early, our employees would be landlocked here on campus until after the parade was over. They wouldn't have a route to leave.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. 7B, court manning table change request. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. 7C, front of the court manning table request, and this is for final action.
Baldwin, so moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Could you give me a short description on that, please, Carrie?
This is I don't see anyone from the front of court here. This is a front of court proposal. This is a service that was previously contracted out. They're having a difficult time finding agencies that will provide this service, so they are hoping to be able to hire an employee to bring it in-house.
Okay. Is that out of their budget, or we?
It is part of the front of court's budget.
Okay.
Front of the court is generally reimbursed 2/3, if I'm not, is it 66% reimbursement from the
That's
state?
correct.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Do we need a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm,
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
motion carried.
Moving on to 7D, Commissioner Beeden, District 3 American Rescue Plan Project. It's the Hunter Hospitality House. Please give us the quick rundown, please. Or let's have a motion first.
So moved.
Support.
Now, if you,
So the quick rundown is the Hunter Hospitality House provides housing for patients and relatives of people receiving treatment at the hospitals. They have 3 houses now in the city of Port Huron. They're requesting 2 air conditioners, one for the Lincoln Street house and one for the 10th Street house. The houses are older, and right now they're trying to Band-Aid everything together with window air conditioners. And you can imagine, you're receiving chemo treatment, coming home to a house that's air conditioned is to keep you comfortable is ideal. So this is a big opportunity for Hunter House to be able to continue to provide clinical services for our community.
right, any other discussion?
Just so that you're aware, I do serve on that board of directors, so I'll be abstaining from this vote.
Okay. And this one is going to the full board, anything that is not final action, so you know that it's going to go to the full board for the actual vote in 2 weeks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 7E, Commissioner Beeden, District 3, American Rescue Plan Project, Port Huron Museums, Fort Gratiot, Port Post Hospital Restoration Project.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, any discussion, if you would, please?
So the Port Huron Museum has been working for over 30 years to restore the hospital post as part of one of their exhibits. This request for funds doesn't quite get them across the finish line, but they're much closer to it. If you've had an opportunity to tour it, you know it's a phenomenal site. The work that they've done over the last 30 years to restore that has been remarkable. And this is a great opportunity to really help them get the final touches that they need to restore the exterior of the exhibit.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. And for everyone, each county commissioner has addressed their individual communities on this type of funding, and each one went to their community to see what would be the best use for the ARPA funds. So tonight we have,
Just a portion of the ARPA funds.
correct, correct. So each one did that, and each one came up with various projects that'll better, for the best interests of their particular district. Moving on to 7F, Commissioner Beeden, District 3, American Rescue Plan Project, Sons Outreach Program. You have a motion.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
So SONS is Save Our Neighborhoods and Streets, if I get the acronym correct this evening. They have a workforce development program for at-risk youth. They're looking to purchase equipment to add to that workforce program, and this will help their crew do some landscaping, give them some real-world experience, and benefit the community.
Any other discussion?
They actually serve kids from all throughout the county. So it's not just Port Huron centric, that they'll bring kids from all of the schools within Port Huron schools. I think they at some point would like to go farther south, but it's absolutely in the Port Huron school district that they're able to.
For west too.
kids. And west. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. 7G, Commissioner Beeden, District 3, American Rescue Plan Project, SCC Community Services, Coordinating Body, Dementia and Alzheimer's Rescue Resource Committee.
So, oh, I'm
Could I
sorry.
have a motion, please?
So moved.
Support.
So for discussion, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Resource Group provides respite care to people that are serving or loved ones with Alzheimer's or dementia. And if you've experienced that, you know that can be quite challenging. So they offer respite care where they'll pay for someone to come and provide respite services while you go and do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. So they're using most of the funds for that. The other part of the funds that they've requested is for marketing needs. They're a young nonprofit. They're a 501c3, and they're looking to grow their awareness and continue to be able to provide these services in the community.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 7H. Commissioner Vandenbosch, District 7, American Rescue Plan Project, Marine City Police Department cameras.
Make a motion.
Support.
It's a integrated camera system that will help them. And we used it in the abduction and kidnapping the other day and rescuing the lady. They found her in Ohio. And if it wasn't for the integrated cameras that are Chesterfield and New Baltimore already used, that's actually started where they found it. And then they also hit on that same car in Ohio to actually narrow down the search. And we don't know if she would have survived if these cameras weren't there. And it's a nationwide program that's starting to catch hold here. And I think if it saves one person, and it actually isn't for ticket writing. It just alerts if there's a license plate that comes up that's flagged, if the vehicle's stolen, or if there's something with that program. I think it's phenomenal use of database. So
So it's a camera that takes a picture of the license and then
If that license
that
plate's
place is
flagged,
Flagged.
yeah, anywhere in the country.
Wow.
Wow, interesting.
They have to basically place them in strategic places in the city and.
So it's a state, it's something that is a stationary,
Mhm. Yeah. Like I said, just one child we can find, this lady was found, because, there was an assault in East China, and like I said, it was phenomenal how fast they got down to Ohio too.
yeah,
I mean, she was already brutalized, but at least we saved her life.
yeah.
So I think it's a great program, and I think we're gonna hear more
Well, those
of it.
cameras are, on a side note, I got a ticket. My daughter drove through a toll. The car is registered to me. Camera system picked up the license plate, picture of the car in Chicago.
Some of the same technology.
And I'm amazed at yeah, I mean, you could see the license plate clear as day and everything else, on it, and, she had to pay the old man.
So.
I have a very similar story. Went to Myrtle Beach for my annual golf trip with my buddies. We were driving to Pennsylvania, and me and Neil, my friend, we swapped driving. He's driving in Pennsylvania. I'm in the back seat taking a little snooze. He's doing 78 and a 55. A month after I got back from the golf trip, I get this ticket in the mail that I owe for this. It did give me saying that we're going to let you off this time. You can refute it, but doing 78 and a 55. But next time we go through Pennsylvania, they'll have my license plate tag if we take my truck.
There you go.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 7I, Commissioner Baldwin, District 2 America Rescue Plan Project, Sanborn Gratiot Memorial Home.
So moved.
Support?
So the Sanborn Gratiot Memorial Home has a clientele that relies on power for medical needs and different things. So a generator is a pretty big deal for a facility like that. From a maintenance standpoint, there isn't an issue maintaining it, but the initial ask of $67,000 for the generator has been what's been a holdup for several years. So because of much needed project for a residential home that relies heavily for medical devices. And that's why I'm moving it forward.
Any further discussion?
I need to abstain from this vote as well. I'm the executive director for Sanborn Gratiot.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 7J, Commissioner Baldwin, District 2 American Rescue Plan Project, Community Foundation of St. Clair County Bridge to Bay Trail.
So moved.
Support?
So this, and actually, going back even to the last one, these are both projects that don't just service one. These are countywide residents, or these are countywide facilities, or the trails that are far more reaching than District 2. For this, for years have talked about connecting some of the trail systems from Port Huron or Lakeside Beach to get to the Fort Gratiot Trail System. And one of the pieces is to get off of the road into, to connect to two schools and into existing trail system pieces. So I am requesting $50,000 toward that project.
Any further discussion? All I want to do is add that all of these ARPA projects, regardless of which commissioner, all of these are approved uses for these funds. You can't just arbitrarily use them for any purpose that you want, general fund or, it's approved uses. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 7K, Resolution 22-20. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. This time, do we have any other Ways and Means Matters?
Yeah, David, I'm going to tag team this one with Commissioner Vanden Bosch. As many of you know, the city of Marine City applied for some DNR trust fund dollars to help with a marina project in Marine City. If you were a boater, previously there was nowhere you could stop in Marine City, get off, so on and so forth. This is really the first step out of hopefully a multi-phased, thing down there, I guess. It's a lengthy process, probably started a year and a half ago, and it the money's got released from the DNR trust fund. I think this project scored out number 4 out of all the projects that were submitted statewide. There was roughly $135,000 called a shortfall, call it what you may, because they bought a building, there was some demo, there were some other things that needed to be done to it. So we talked to the community foundation, the community foundation contributed $45,000. We asked the Parks and Rec to consider it. The Parks and Rec, County Parks and Rec are going to put $45,000 into this project, and then the city of Marine City is roughly $45,000. I think it's a really great
program. It's gonna add not just a marina, but also a very large green space along the Bell River. So we can have picnic and seating area eventually down the road with, of course, where they're gonna have to go for another grant and, for amenities. And, I think it's gonna really add to the quaintness of the town and really, it's a needed thing to have the marina end of it, but I think it's going to be useful for even those citizens, the residents, to be able to go down and use that green space.
Yeah, they're going to be tearing the building down on Monday, actually.
Mhm.
I talked to Holly, so that old structure's going to be coming down, so good stuff.
That's great. I do have one thing. Any other commissioners? Met with Nancy Windsor on Tuesday, and just another issue in regards to the funding with their Park and Rec. She gave a very good presentation at a township meeting, and they are a very good care of the funds that the Park and Rec gets. And from the Park and Rec millage coming up on the August ballot, that generates roughly $4 million. 25% goes back to each community, and they do a very good job with what they got. They're not asking for any increase, just to maintain our current parks and the funding.
And a lot of the communities really need that funding for their local parks and recs. And they do with so many projects in Marine City that they wouldn't even be able to attempt to without the 25% match.
And the way she's worked with the townships that I represent, I did give her a good attaboy, so she's doing a good job.
Were you going to talk about the meeting we had with the drain commissioner? Is that part of your?
We can if you want. We'll add it right here.
Want to do it now, or you want to do it? You might as well talk about it now, since we're talking.
I'll address if you want. We'll talk about it now. We met with 2 township supervisors, Liz Masters and Bill McMurtry. Liz Masters is in Wales, which is my district. Bill McMurtry's in Greg McConnell. So I'll address Liz Masters. She has an issue with one of the drains in her township, and I think we pretty much got that resolved. The funding for all the drains has to be accounted for. You can't just arbitrarily take money and have the county, potentially have the county forward money for a particular municipality. You do that, you're going to have to do it for all the municipalities, and legal would probably have to look at it also, because there's funding that has to be derived, that the drain commissioner does, to get that money. Working with the road commission, because a particular drain is on a county road, but it also abuts the road. So the county road commission is going to put it on their agenda next year. And also the drain commissioner is going to work together to get that particular drain. 2 culverts and about 500 foot of the drain is going to get repaired. And the funding will be in the budget of everyone involved next year. You'd address Bill McMurtry issue.
Well, Bill, he's got questions with his drain, but when they were looking through our website, they found out that we had listed a drain board. And so they asked who was on the drain board, and the only one listed on the drain board is Commissioner Rushing. And you've never had a meeting. Didn't know you were on right? We didn't know this.
If I could, and talking with Carrie, we're not aware that it's met in 20 plus years. The advisory board, talking with Carrie, was generated by Fred Fuller. But the drain commissioner, if he doesn't want to be part of it, doesn't have to even show up. So currently of the initial advisory board, the only one that continued on was the Board of Commissioners, because it was listed as a board that needed a representative, but it has never met. Working with Bob Wiley, since I've been county commissioner, he's addressed every one of my concerns. He's for me anyways, for the 6 townships, he's always picked up the phone and took care of issues. So
Well, I mean, we need to address it. So if there is an existing board, then either we need to act upon having a meeting, or we need to disband it. And I don't care how we do it, but it has to, I think that needs to be addressed. We did have a request to have another meeting to do a walkthrough, and I have no problem doing that. And I think you said you would go too.
Yep.
So we'll try to get that set up.
We'll go on site and inspect that drain ourselves.
Right. So these were the people that approached us at our last board meeting and talked.
Of course, Jeff's our chair and regulates our full board, but if you potentially want to put this on next month on one of the committees, if we want to continue with this board or not, and we can address it and put it up for a vote. But again, it's completely at the discretion of the drain commissioner. If he doesn't want to have it, this is just an advisory board that the previous drain commissioner.
And this isn't the only, there's multiple advisory boards that the counties have that meet on an as-needed kind of basis sometimes, and as needed hasn't been in the 18 years that I've been on the board. So, you can.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any other Ways and Means Matters? All right, information only. Can I have a motion to receive and file packets?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Baldwin, so moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We stand adjourned. Go back to the initial, we'll go to the Human Services, and Lisa's up.
This time I'd like to call to order the Health and Human Services Committee. If the clerk will take the roll.
Yes. Commissioner Baldwin,
Here.
Commissioner McConnell,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn,
Here.
Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Here.
Commissioner Beeden.
Present.
We have quorum.
I don't see any additions, changes, or deletions to the agenda. Can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none. Any updates? Seeing none. Any conceptual initiatives? No old business. Going on to new business. Item A, AAA 1B appointment.
Make a motion, send it to full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other human services matters tonight? Anything for information only? May I have a motion to receive and file packets?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I would like to call the Judiciary and Public Safety Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Let her catch up. She's a little rusty.
Haven't done it in a while.
Okay. Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Here.
Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner Beeden,
Present.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here.
Commissioner McConnell,
Here.
Commissioner
you.
Baldwin.
Here.
Okay. Oh, am I on the, which
How about
one am
me?
I on?
How about me?
I know it. I'm sorry. Commissioner Dunn.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, with seeing no additions to the agenda, if we could get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support, Beeden.
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any citizens wishing to be heard tonight under the Judiciary and Public Safety? Seeing none. Any updates? Maybe this is time, I did go and we looked at the cell tower. I shouldn't call it cell tower. The state police, is it in Kimball? Is that the one up by Lakeport?
No,
Would that be Kimball Township?
Birchville.
Birchville. So we've had, through emergency management or central dispatch, we've been working on having some new items placed so that we can get better service in that area. And the bids were coming in and they were they were, I don't know, I guess just extremely scary. I was thinking they were going to put a new tower up, and it was just to put new items, equipment, you know, inside the building and on the tower. And in the bid, they were in the $1 million range, and then Motorola thought they could really help us out and got it in the $850,000 range. Well, we finally got a meeting with the state police, and they came out, and we had the engineer for Motorola there, and they got looking at the equipment, and they feel that the equipment doesn't need to be replaced, that it just needs to be updated, and it's probably more, you know, lack of better words, to me, it's pretty crazy to go in that small, cute little building that's out there, and it's just full of electronics. And I mean, I had a hard time to get my VCR to quit flashing years ago, and it looks to me like there's 800 VCRs in there, and everything's flashing and beeping, and but it sounds like they can do something for us where it's not going to be extensive. So we're just awaiting an outcome of the collaboration of everybody that was there together. So hopefully it's something. The state police uses it, we use it, the DNR uses it. So if we can get all the players together and everybody can help pay their own share, and they didn't know that they were having an issue, and they seemed quite concerned and willing to look at it. So hopefully we can get something where it can be a usable for everybody and not be unaffordable. So that was just this week, I think on Tuesday. So if we have no other updates, any conceptual initiatives? We have no old business. New business, 7A, the 2022 Port Security Grant Program application. It's in the amount of $24,900. This is zero local match. It would go to the emergency management if we receive it.
So moved. Support.
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7B, the 2021 Homeland Security Grant Program Operation Stone Garden Grant Agreement. This is for final action. It's a $146,250 grant. It's 100% federal, so we have no match. This is, yeah, these are grants that we'll gladly take when we don't have to pay, and it helps us monitor our areas. So we need a roll call. Does anybody have any questions on that?
No, just an editorial note. I remember when we used to get 2.3 million on this grant back in the day. So it's,
Yeah, it's way up and down.
Yeah.
And it's down this year compared to last year, I believe, and for the last couple of years, but.
I'll make a motion.
Support.
We have motion and support. Oh, no, we need roll call on this one for final action or not?
Yes, roll call.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm.
yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 7C, the fiscal year 2023 Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Grant Application. This is a $263,572 grant that would require a 25% match. The match would be covered by Region 10, the Sheriff's Jail Fund, and the Commissary Fund would make up the 25%.
Make a motion, send it to full board.
Support Baldwin.
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7D, the contract approval request from Vigilant Solutions and Motorola Solutions. This is a $247,503.74 purchase, and the money is being used from the Stone Garden grant. And this is, I believe, the same thing, Amber, you were talking about, that we would have set up in the county. 2 cameras for purchase?
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions? Did we have a motion?
Make a motion, send to full board.
Support.
We have motion and support. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7E, the Aramac, the Jail Food Service Company. This is an addendum K that we're looking at this addendum throughout the pandemic times, and our jail population would go way down. Some of the prices of food were going up because they're preparing less meals and bringing in less quantity. And now we have a structured program where it's going to be based on the amount of people that they're feeding. And we feel it's going to be a savings to us overall.
I'd make the motion to send it to the full board.
Support, Beeden.
We have motion and support. Does anybody have any questions?
Greg, I'm assuming they still charge on a per calorie basis. I remember when I used to look at the Earmark contracts, you know, a 2,400 calorie per day meal was X amount, 2,600, 2,800. Is that still how they?
Same things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's a variety of, I think there's just X amount of calories that are bid, and it's one number.
Yeah.
And then they base, and it's pretty reasonable I think what they're making meals at, like $1.38 a meal.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other judiciary public safety matters at this time?
Just one, out in Riley Township, Memphis Fire Department Services, Riley, they gave us a contract, got approved. Doug Pratt is the new fire chief, and I've known him 25 years and served on him with the township board there. So, but they gave a 2% increase and they service Riley Township very well, but there is a new fire chief out in Memphis.
Good. Anybody else? Motion to receive and file packets?
So moved, Baldwin.
Support, Beeden.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved, Baldwin.
Support, Beeden.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Coming to me today?
I'm coming to you.
All right. Ready, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to call the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Environmental Public Works Committee to order. And could I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner Baldwin,
Present.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Here.
Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner McConnell,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here.
Commissioner Beeden,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn.
Here. Item number 2, additions, deletions, changes. I seeing none. Could I get an approval of the agenda?
Support.
I'll make the motion then.
Oh,
Any questions?
it works.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any citizens to be heard tonight from the Environmental Public Works Committee? I have one.
Sure, sure. I don't know.
If you could afterwards fill out a card, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So Dawn Nowicki, I live in Smiths Creek. The Smiths Creek landfill is in my backyard. As of the last month or so, I haven't noticed, but it's normally bad in the wintertime, the methane. It's awful. I walk out of my back door in the evening just to see things outside, take my dog for a walk, whatever. It's overpowering. And I'm a mile away from the landfill. Like I said, the last month I haven't noticed it, but normally in the evening and in the morning, it's bad. I thought that I had noticed sensors that had been put up along Smiths Creek Road. I had assumed that those were for methane. Maybe they're not, but it needs to be looked into to make sure that this doesn't continue.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
usually we don't address, but check with Matt on that if they're doing some work out there. Because we capture the methane gas, which turns a generation at
I'm
the-
aware of that.
Yep, and unless they were doing some work on the generators, but then they normally would flare the excess. gas. Is it methane or is it just bad smells? Because sometimes.
It's methane.
Okay. Yeah, check with Matt on that.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other citizens to be heard? Are there any updates from commissioners? Are there any conceptual initiatives this evening?
None.
No old business. We have one item under new business, St. Clair County leachate line jetting.
Make a motion to send it to the full board.
Support Baldwin?
Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Smiths Creek landfill activities report.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
Questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other environmental public work matters?
Actually, just one quick one. I guess talking about the landfill, I had dinner last night with the president of DT Gas. Talk about some different things. We were talking about the treatment facilities that Commissioner Vanden Bosch and I were part of and stuff, but he had mentioned to me that they are redoing some of their agreements with some of the different landfills. For example, Riverview was getting a couple $100,000 a year. Now they're getting a couple million in revenue, that the cost of gas and some of the renewables, this. So he's going to actually reach out to us. I told him to get whomever's in charge of that for the DT gas side, at least let's take a look at our agreement and see if there's something there. I mean, at the time, we had worked a very good power purchase agreement. I think it was roughly $99 megawatt power purchase agreement. I know Riverview was quite low at the time. They got a deal done many years ago when, taking the gas was pretty well just taking it off your hands. And when we had actually inked our particular deal, that was when the 10% renewable standards came out, and we were able to, work a pretty good consistent, I think it's either 20 or 25 years with them, but it doesn't hurt to take a look. And so whomever, when they get a hold of us, I'll put them in touch with you, Carrie, and we can take a look at that thing.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff. Information only, Asphalt Trucks Incorporated fuel surcharge.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Support Baldwin?
Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 11, receive and file packets.
So moved Baldwin?
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 12,
Motion to adjourn.
Support Baldwin?
all in favor?
Aye.
Good night. Meeting is adjourned.